Welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server, and what are we going to be doing today? Well, we need to hook the base up to the spawn village, so I'm going to build that nether portal and dig out a path so I can get back to the spawn village and bring some supplies over here, because I don't really want to go around caving and starting again from scratch. I've got tons of coal and iron and all sorts of things that I need back at base. So before we can do anything around here really, I need to get that sorted out. So I'm going to pick a location to build the spawn portal somewhere around here, and then I'll do all of that hard work digging through the nether and getting back to spawn off camera, and then I'll show you the journey that I take once it's done. Okay, I've picked a location, and just over there is the treehouse, by the way. I'm going to put the spawn portal just over here, and I noticed this little hole in the ground, so I popped my head down here to have a look. And it looks like we've got some really good caving systems. A good sign is some iron already here. But yeah, it kind of goes all over the place. It looks like it's going to be a lot of caving to do, because this just goes all over the place, as you can see, and it's quite dark in there. And this isn't just the only opening I've found. I've found quite a few so far. So it looks like we've got a good caving system under the base, and that's something I really like because I love to go caving. But anyway, let's step through the nether. And let's see what's on the other side. Okay, that's good. Next to a lava lake. Right. The one thing I was hoping is that we didn't spawn inside a load of netherrack and then I'd have to dig in a random direction. But that's decent. I'm going to cover this up with cobblestone. There we go, I boxed this in with no cobblestone left. Whoa. So yeah, that's done the job. Oh, bloody hell. That guy's real close. Let's see if we can kill him. Damn it. Oh, there we go. Let's see if we've got a ghast here. One thing you have to be really careful about when killing ghasts with a bow and arrow, let's try and pick that up, is that stray arrows can hit pigmen, and it's happened to me quite a few times now where I've been killing ghasts and then later on a pigman out of nowhere has come and killed me. So if that ever happens to you, it's probably because the arrows that you're firing are going astray and hitting pigmen. At least that's my theory on what's happening. But anyway, we've done those. We've got the portal protected by the cobblestone, and now I'm going to have to make the long journey back to the spawn nether hub, and I'll do all that off camera, and maybe I'll show you the journey later if it's interesting at all. So I've only walked a short distance and we have a nether fortress. Now I'm thinking hopefully we'll have some blaze spawners here. Maybe I want to build a farm of that in the future. And as always, I think nether fortresses spawn right over lava lakes. It looks like there's one just over there, and I'm just going to walk back this way and show you where the little cobblestone entrance to my portal is. And yeah, there's plenty of glowstone around here as well, which is decent. So yeah, it's literally just down here somewhere. There you go. So not that far at all. We've got a nether fort. In fact, it goes all the way over there. So that's good. I'll be able to make a path straight up to the nether fortress, and yeah, as I said, hopefully we'll find some blaze spawners. Okay, I've just walked along the top of the nether fortress and I saw some torches, so I thought that's interesting. I'm sure these don't spawn naturally, and up the top here we've got a tree as well, so someone has been here, or someone is nearby anyway, which is interesting. In fact, judging by those fence posts, I'd say this is Red Eyes. I know he loves to bring the overworld into the nether, but he also loves using his fence posts, so I wouldn't be surprised if he is nearby. But I guess I'll have to ask him whereabouts his base is to see if he's actually nearby, because I don't want to be too near to anyone else. But yeah, there's definitely someone else here. So I found a nether portal, and I guess we could step through here and find out whose it is. I've got a feeling it might actually be Joe Hills, who's a new member on the server if you didn't know. But what I was just thinking about is this is quite close to my portal, so it's strange that when I built mine it didn't connect to this one. But anyway, let's find out whose this is. And I probably don't want to stick around here for too long because it's night time and I'm going to attract some mobs. But I actually have no idea, and I don't see any signs of a base or torches or anything. Just a random portal. That's interesting. Oh, I guess I'll have to ask around and find out whose this is. Okay, I finally made it back to the Nether hub, and that was an awful journey. There was nothing but obstacles in my way, from lava lakes to big hills, fortresses, all kinds of things, and I think that making a path back is actually going to be quite difficult, but I'm going to think about it, take the journey a couple of times, and try and figure out where the best place to make a path is. And eventually I want to make that path into a rail as well, so I'm going to have to make it quite wide and consider that. And it's probably going to use up a ton of cobblestone because there's so many lava lakes that I know at some point I'm going to just have to make a bridge across the middle of it, and ghasts are going to blow up, ghasts are going to blow up the netherrack that I've been using at the moment. So okay, here we go. I'm going to try and read and talk at the same time. I'm not very good at this. Yo X, I saw that you were sniffing around my base. Tisk tisk. Secret bases are important. For example, your diamonds were unsafe. Don't worry, I moved them for you. I buried them in a desert far, far away. The coords are... oh no, that's quite far as well. You might want to pack a lunch or a change of socks. It's going to be quite a little hike. Hugs and kisses, Jenny B, the Hermit. That is not what I wanted to see when I got back to my base. I was going to take those... well, I probably wouldn't have taken them just yet. Oh, he has actually taken them. It's not just a joke. Oh, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get you back. I will get into your base, and you will not like it. Okay, well, I guess we've got to write down those coordinates and go get them now. Y being 65 means it's basically probably on the surface, although he says... I buried them, so they might be under a hill of some sort, but that's actually not too far away, so I don't mind that. I'll grab some speed potions, and we'll go do that now. Okay, we are here. There's an X, so X marks the spot. Do I have a shovel? Yes, I do. And there we go, there's a sign as well. Yar ye booty be somewhere... oh... oh, generic. Oh, that's so cruel. Oh, and where is that? Oh, that's probably in the totally opposite direction as well. Oh, oh no, that's bad. Okay, there we go. I can see the chest. I've got my shovel and torch, so I can get down there. Hopefully that will be the last one. But yeah, I've got to do this right. Let's open the chest first. Oh, it's not. Of course it's not. Right. Now I can breathe. I need to get some blocks around me. I guess I'm going to have to read his sign and find out where the coordinates are. Let's do this again. Oh, what a pain this is, eh? Oh no, 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 I'm gonna die. Okay, okay. Right, I should... no, I haven't blocked it all off. Oh, this is so awkward. Oops. Okay, now if I put down a torch. Right, at last, let's see. I can't read the top there. Anyway, I'll write down those coordinates and then I'll head in that direction. Okay, there's my chest, and it's probably not going to have any diamonds in, but let's have a look anyway. Yeah, I can see more coordinates. Okay, I got my diamonds back in the end. They were on top of my house, and yeah, that wasted a lot of my time, but calmed down now, and I've decided to do an enchantment because we're going to need a decent pick to do all this work in the Nether. So I brought with me a pick. I only used it a couple of times to get some obsidian. Well, that's right, we need to remove these torches. And yeah, I'm level 47. So I'm going to go through all the different levels till number 47 pops up, and then we'll see what we get. Here it is, level 47. Oh, that is awful. Silk Touch 1. Actually, no, that's not too awful, I guess. I could use that for getting glowstone in the Nether. I did actually want a pick like that, one that wasn't too fast. I wouldn't have minded efficiency 1 or 2 on it. But yeah, just Silk Touch, that does kind of suck. Anyway, I think we should do another one. Okay, it's time for that second enchantment. We're going to do this one a bit lower. We're going for level 44. Okay, here we go, level 44. Efficiency 4. Also not that great. Before we got distracted by Generic Bee's prank, I was talking about how difficult it's going to be to make the path from the Nether hub to my Nether portal. But now that we're back here, we've got everything we need. I can make lots of iron picks, and I've also got this efficiency 4, which probably won't last that long. But what I'm going to be doing now is building the path from the Nether hub all the way back to my Nether portal. The basic tunnel is now made, and as you can see, this is mostly done out of netherrack. This first bit here took me quite a while to do, and I actually used all of my diamond pickaxe on it. And then when I got down to this bit, I decided that we're going to have walls, so we should make the tunnel more narrow. But yeah, this is all unfurbished at the moment. One thing I've got to do is build it out of something that ghasts can't blow up. So yeah, it goes on a little bit further, and then it gets to a big open area, and this is one of the things that I was worrying about. When I made the journey here, I wasn't really sure where I was going. I knew what direction, but I didn't know the landscape, and that was one thing I was worried about, is that I'd end up making a path and not really choosing the right one. But it turns out that when we go down here, let's get rid of that, that we come to these big open plains, and just over there is Hypno's portals. And I made my way across these plains thinking that this probably wouldn't be a good place to put... Okay, there we go, we've got a ghast. To put a tunnel or anything like that, but actually it's not going to be that bad. When I put down rails, I'll build a proper tunnel for it, so it gets protected from the ghasts, and they're really distracting me, they are. But yeah, just over here somewhere is where we go to, and you can see with a speed potion it's not going to take me that long. We're almost there now. So just the other side of this bit is a big lava lake, and I've built a bridge over that. And that's just, oh, I can't sprint now. I need to eat more of this rotted flesh. Okay, so down here, and then we go across a lava lake, and yeah, you can see I've made it out of cobblestone. I haven't got any safety rails yet, but I think it will be fine just running across like this for now. And this goes into a nether fortress, which is right next to my portal. Oh, this isn't my portal, by the way. This is someone else's. In fact, I have no idea whose it is, but they're obviously going to be sharing my tunnel with me to get to their portal. So yeah, this was right next to my base, and it was actually Red Eyes who came over and had a look at my new island, pointed out that this was like a path that was already built for me, so I thought, yeah, he's got a good point there, and I decided to use this. So there it is. That's my portal, and the last thing I need to do is just make a little pathway down there. And that's it. Then I can start transporting all of my items using my inventory and some speed potions. And over time I will make a proper tunnel and build it all. Build it out of stuff that ghasts can't destroy. And here's another one. Never stop spawning those ghasts. But anyway, I'm going to start bringing my items back, and then we can move on to working on the base. I've successfully transferred a load of my items from the old base, and when you use speed potions it actually goes by quite quickly, so it didn't take that long at all. But I did have a little bit of a scare. When I first got here I put all of my valuables in a chest that was just up there, and it had all of this in it. And then I decided that I wanted to make this tree a little bit bigger, so I put down a dirt block with a sapling on and grew it with bone meal. And when it grew into a tree, the leaf blocks that generated around it actually destroyed the chest. And I was fortunate enough to notice the items were floating around between the leaf blocks. And I would I would have really gone mad if it had destroyed the items as well, but that's something that I'm lucky to have noticed. So I've kept all of those items, and that's the only little hiccup I've had really. And as for this place, I'm not sure what I want to do yet, but one idea I've had is to just grow lots of trees and make this place really dense and maybe a little bit difficult to navigate, so I'd be able to get around it with ease because I'd learn all of it. But anyway, I've been trying out a few things, like maybe making a little bit of a perimeter between the trees, and I've also put some chests in the ground, and this was something that used to be really popular back in the day when the chests were the same size as a normal block. So people used to do this. They used to put the chest in the ground and have a block next to it to mark what was in the chest, and I'm not sure if I want to do that, but it gets the job done for now. But anyway, I want to move on to doing the first project, which is going to be the animal pens, and I've been going around the island and lighting a lot of it up, and let's just go up the top and have a look. So I've done all of that area like before, but I've gone round it again and found all the little areas that weren't quite lit up and killed all the mobs that spawned in it, and I've done a lot of that area over there even though we can't quite see it that well. And yeah, at night time I keep making checks over the area that I've already lit up and seeing if I've missed any bits, but over time we'll get all of it and then this place will be very safe. But anyway, as I said, I need to I want to work on the animal pens, so I'm going to round up our pigs and cows and pick a location which I think will be maybe actually over there because it's very flat around that area. So I'll round those animals up and start making some pens. So this is the flat area that I was talking about. There's actually a lot more dirt here, I had to dig it all down, but that didn't take too long, and these torches are in a row because that's marked out where I might build the second one of these, because we want one for cows and one for pigs. But this is the first one, and before those half slabs are in the middle, the water all went to the central point, so there was no dry land at all. And now that I've built this, I can see that I might actually have to make it a little bit bigger. But what I was thinking about was how we can control the water flow, and I placed in these row of dirt blocks because these could be, or at least they could have sticky pistons underneath that extend and retract. But the problem we have here is that I've actually made this too small, so the water here, yeah, you can see it stops at the middle, and what we want it to do is actually to part away so that there's a hole that the animals can fall into. So if I add a block at either end, only just about stops it. Actually, we don't want that one, but what I'd rather have is just one row on one side rather than having these extra ones that pop up around the corner. So there you can see we get these two blocks I don't really want. So if we make this a little bit bigger, then when we add this row of dirt blocks it should stop with 4 blocks in the middle, and that's where we would build a hole which is held up with signs so that when the water flows over the top of it the animals won't be able to fall into it. And another worry that's come to mind is that the range of luring animals with wheat might not really be big enough, so we might have to build a walkway that goes across the top. But at this moment I'm just focusing on getting this part built. There we go. When the water parts we now have that 2x2 gap for the animals to be lured into, and then they're probably going to go out in that direction, which is why I moved it from over this side, because we've got that second farm over there to think about. But yeah, behind here we're going to build a mobovator and a lava cooker. But all I did was extend it 2 blocks in this direction and this one, and then that made it big enough to have this gap when we push up the blocks at this side here. So now that that's done, I'm going to start building the trap here and the water underneath that's going to push them over the back here into a mobovator. So the first thing I needed to be able to do was to control these pistons, so we have to wire them up with redstone. And this can be a little bit tricky, but I think I've got a solution, and that is to place a bunch of blocks going across this way and have some redstone on top of them. Now that will power the block but not the piston next to it. So because we can power the block, I was thinking that if we could put a torch on the other side of that block, then that torch would control the piston. Like that, you can see that one's extended, so then when we power this redstone, all of these torches we're going to place on the other side are going to turn off. And in that way we should be able to control them all. I don't think there's going to be any problem with that, but it does mean we have to drop the animals down quite a bit before they'll be low enough down to be underneath this wiring. and they'll probably take damage, but that's not really going to be a problem because they're going to get killed anyway. So I'm going to wire this up and we can check it out in action. At the moment the water's flowing over the top and we have signs to hold it up, so none of the water's flowing down below. And then we've got a lever down here. I couldn't extend it because the redstone signal would run out, and I don't have any repeaters at the moment. I need to go back to my base and get some more of those. And there you go, when we hit the lever the blocks pop up and now we've got the 2x2 hole. So the next thing to do would be to put some water underneath and lead the animals that are going to fall into this hole further back and into a mobovator. I thought I'd show you the mobovator now, since when it's finished it's going to be quite difficult to look at. But yeah, the drop is directly above us, and below these blocks are the water source blocks that flow out this way, and then they end at these two blocks here. So if you don't know how a mobovator works, basically the water is on every other block like this going upwards, and then you have signs on the opposite blocks. And this means when the animal comes into the middle here and they rise up, that they're always in water, so they're always rising, and they're also always in an air block because of the signs, so they never take any suffocation damage. Now I was going to build something here that's actually not needed. So where these torch blocks are, we would have water source blocks, and they would flow into the next block where we're going to have water in our mobovator. And the reason that you would use this is because you need to push the mobs all the way into a trap. Now that would only be when the trap is 1 block wide, and ours is 2, so that's why it's not needed, but I thought I'd share it with you anyway. So if this was 1 block wide, we'd have a block or 2 blocks here, and then our mobs would be rising up in the middle here and they would hit the block above them. So by having the flowing water, when they hit that block, the water will continue to push them to one side, and then they would make their way into the trap. But that's that, and anyway, I'll finish this up and it will have alternating water and signs going all the way up to the top, and then we'll drop them into a lava cooker. It's a good thing I decided to test this before taking it any further, because it turns out that mobovators in SMP don't really seem to work. They've been in there for ages now, just glitching around, and occasionally one of them makes it to the top, and even then you need wheat to lure them out. There's also some problems with this as well. First of all, because we're using full blocks here, the animals that are in the centre that move towards the wheat can actually make their way across to the other side and jump up onto this block, which is something we don't want them doing. And as well as that, when the blocks are down and the water's flowing like normal, the mobs can actually, it's not often that they do it, but they can fall down into the hole, because when the mobs are pushing each other they'll move into the water, and then when they're bobbing up and down on top of this bit they fall through. But most of the time when the animals move towards the water just pushes them back. So it's only when another animal pushes them behind that they could get pushed into this bit here. So anyway, what I'm thinking is we're going to have to abandon the mobovator and build the lava trap underground. So we would stick with this, even though it is a little bit flawed. It's probably the best we can do on SMP for now. Although it just occurred to me that as well as this we could have some other pistons that push the blocks out and pull them back in, and then that way they wouldn't be able to fall down to below. So that's that one fixed. And yeah, we can just put the lava trap or the lava cooker underneath there. So wiring these pistons might be a little bit tricky, because we have one piston there next to this one, and if we power the one above with a block, then we're also going to power the one to the side as well. But the one thing I've figured out is that these are powered by default and these ones aren't. These are powered off, and by default I mean when the water covers the top here and the trap door is shut. So if this one is powered, it might mean this one has to be powered as well, and if we have just one piston up at a time on either side, then the water should still flow all the way over to the edge of the holding area. So it shouldn't be a problem, because when we unpower this one's going to be powered by this torch anyway. But I'm going to figure out the circuitry and then we can test it and see if it works. Okay, with the current wiring, what happens is this block here will be powered, and I think that's unavoidable, and the same thing's going to happen on the other side when I put that one there. But this doesn't really mess things up too much, because as you can see, the water still makes it all the way to the edge, and there's still 2 blocks between it and the block here, which is important because when testing I found that you need about 2 blocks of water away from the edge for it to work properly. and by that I mean suppress the animals. But anyway, let's go down below. And I've put these extra signs underneath because I realised that there'll be some sort of time between when the water retracts from the edge and the pistons extend. So by having the signs here, we stop the water from coming down into the bottom. So I've just got to build this on the other side, and this is real simple. We've used the power from one of these redstone torches to go across, go down and power this block here with a redstone torch powering the block above, and then in that gap there we have a repeater for that side. Okay, I've wired it up on both sides, so when we hit the lever, and if you remember I said about the time from when the water retracts, you can see it just then when I do that. It's pretty instant the other way around, but watch the water in the middle here. See, the pistons pull apart and the water instantly falls down to the bit below, so that's why we had those signs there. And let's close this up before that cow decides to fall down. So the next thing that we need to do is build the lava cooker, and originally I had the idea to build the same one as in my LP world, but I think this one will not work in SMP. Seems like anything that's a little bit too complicated doesn't seem to work that well on here. But anyway, the idea would be that you'd have a piston controlling a block, and the animals would stand on top of it, and then the piston would retract that block. Then behind it you would have lava, which would flow out onto where the animals are now standing and set them alight, at which point the piston extends the block back up, and then the animals will burn to death on top and drop loads of cooked meat. So the reason I think that won't work is because we've got all the animals in a tube surrounded by blocks, which they tend to glitch into, and I think we need to keep it simple and keep the animals in water, because when they're in water they don't seem to glitch about as much, although saying that mobovator was a real disaster. But anyway, the idea that I'd had is to just have the water flow out like normal and then put in a lava blade. And if you haven't seen a lava blade before, you would dig back 3 blocks here on either side and then put lava at the back of them, and lava can only extend 4 blocks, so it would come all the way out to this block here, and if you put a sign underneath it then it wouldn't fall down. So you would have a lava blade on either side, then the mobs that came down from the top would get pushed through it in the water, and if they got killed by the lava they would drop cooked meat. But the thing I'm thinking might happen is that because they're in water they're going to take damage from the lava and get set on fire, but then the water's going to extinguish the fire. But actually if they do die it's because they're taking damage from something, and the only thing that they're taking damage from is the lava blade, so it should cook them when they die and they should drop cooked meat. So that should work in theory, but the only way to find out is to test it. Okay, now that this thing's built we can give it a test, so let's go up the top. I've got my wheat ready, and I've got to be careful not to lure too many of them in because I'm breeding them at the moment. And yeah, let's hit that. Stand over the end here. There we go, we've got 1. We'll just test it with 1 for now. Ah, that's the one thing I didn't want happening. So we've still got to solve that problem. I need to replace these blocks with something. And this guy's being real stubborn now, which is annoying. Come on. Whoa, might get too many now. Okay, 1's gone down. That's good for me. Let's see what happens. Oh, I think he went straight underneath the lava blade. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, what I think I'll do is raise up the floor here so that the water flows all the way to this block here. Okay, let's do a test. There we go, that'll do, just 1. And if we drop down here and have a look. Okay, it didn't drop anything. That's interesting. But yeah, it happens very fast. I've actually already done that a couple of times, and I haven't been able to catch it until now. So I'm not sure why, but it's not dropping anything, and I think it could be because the mobs rise when they're in lava, and because of that the drops get killed as well. Although I did get this 1 piece of leather, but it's not a cooked steak. Wait a minute, I only had 2 of them before, so perhaps I did pick some up without noticing it. Anyway, it's going to take further testing before we know. Before I do any testing, I think it's best to wait until we can get the number of these cows up, because I've been killing them off too quickly and it's making breeding really slow. But testing it has also been difficult because we have to lure them over and then activate the lever, and then hop down here, and by the time the cow's been killed we haven't been able to see what's happened. But the thing is, I tested this on 3 cows and I got 1 lever which I saw, but also 2 steaks which I think I missed when I picked them up, so that's an average of 1 drop per cow. So I think what I'm going to have to do is invite someone over here to help me test. But anyway, this cell is also all built out of dirt, and we still need to replace these blocks with something else. I think I'm going to use fence posts, but once we get this working, and if I can prove that that lava cooker works, then I'm going to build the other one over on this side and focus on the aesthetics as well. So then when we've got one that looks really good, we can rebuild the original one. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I've been enjoying my time on the new island, and just wanted to say that after I do this project I really want to get onto building a mob spawner. So I know a lot of you have been excited to see me build a mob spawner for quite a while. I was going to do it in xisumo's world, but I've got an idea for one that I want to build here on the island. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.